5 o'clock work session for ARB underway. First project, 45 Glen has been withdrawn this evening, I understand. So we'll move to 11:30, Landville Drive, sorry. Any comments from the board?
I had no comments.
I had none.
Yeah, originally I felt like there was a lot of materials happening, but I kind of understand their logic of what they're going for.
All right, I did not have any comments. So we can move Landvale to pre-approval. Next, we have 253 Papin. Tracy is going to recuse herself.
Very nice.
Oh,
My suggestion is that they add a band trim on those side elevations because those gables are so tall, just to break that up a little bit. And maybe, a gable louver or something just to relieve that. And then as a suggestion only, consider adding a window to the west elevation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the architect should be familiar that we like windows on our garages, and so so that'd be the only suggestion I would have. And I like the bandboard idea or something on the gable ends.
We're on 253 happening.
Yes. Oh, I don't think I did have any objections. Couple of things, but that's for thing review, I think.
all right. We can discuss 253 Papin, so I think someone could ask Tracy to come back. Next, we had 818 Holland Avenue, new construction. Comments from the board?
I had no comments.
I think these drawings, the concept is going in an okay direction, but there's so many conflicts and contradictions. A lot of things are unclear. We've got some areas that are labeled horizontal siding, some labeled as vertical siding, some that are just labeled as siding. So, and nothing's drawn. So we would need to know what's going on there. Like areas that are shown as concrete that are labeled as siding. And then, a bunch of arrows that look like they're directing windows to different locations. It's just not really reviewable or usable as a record of what's approved. And especially like the roofs, it looks like there's some major areas of roof that are shown on the elevation that are just sort of squiggled out with a pencil line. So those, when I look at the roof plan, those areas of roof are not there, but the only indication is like a squiggle through the line on the elevation. And then even if those roofs aren't there, the roof plan does not match the elevations. So there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done there. There's windows that are shown on the elevation, but not on the plan.
Mhm.
On the rear elevation at the basement, the door is shown differently on the plan, and then there's one shows two windows and a side hinge door, and the other shows a sliding door. So in order for these to have any sort of meaningful review, they need to be corrected and coordinated.
I wonder if, I wonder if their understanding of what preliminary means is like.
I might step in just for a second on this one. They were running low on time and their architect could not pick up what was required. And I said, hey, this is a preliminary meeting, give it your best. And so the contractor owner did his best to kind of mark up the drawings with the design intention, knowing that it would get in front for a preliminary and they could fully pick it up for the next round. And so he was going to help walk through some of these comments. Those are his comments on there.
With all the, with all the comments from Carol and the rest of the board, they'd probably want to do a preliminary again, though.
Oh, well, that's up to the board.
Okay.
That'd be because of the schedule, like that, you plan on 2 minimum. So you don't want to push back. If your architect can't get it done, give it your best. We'll get you preliminary and give it our best. It was an attempt to help.
Because I would hate to have suggestions from
Yep, totally understand. I just thought I'd
that
throw
are
it in.
misconstrued, and then
Mhm.
we have them resubmit again.
He understands, I think. He was willing to risk it instead of miss a meeting and get pushed back further.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think I kind of read it as a few ideas that need to be worked through as well. But I guess some of the comments that I saw was, it looks like the siding is going to be stepping down along the sides. So maybe that would be more consistent. And terminate, at the back. I think it might be the intention. And then, I think specifically, I was looking at a few of the window placements on the plan and had just some thoughts about, especially the front 2 bedrooms. I think those show up on the elevation on the right, but maybe consider one on the left. Other than that, I agree, obviously, that with the discussion, there would still have to be a resubmittal.
Mhm.
You can tell things are kind of headed in the right direction, but I would also just an item for the applicants to consider is whether they just want shutters on one window in the front.
Mhm.
And be nice to that transition strip, I think is a good idea. It'd be nice to maybe bring that around the rest of the house.
Mhm.
You said you had notes about the windows? About additional bedroom windows, or, 'cause it looks like
I think I was trying to
there could
follow
be an opportunity to put more windows, like on 2 sides of a
on the
room.
west side is kind of where I was looking
Mhm.
for that bedroom.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That was one that I just saw and it didn't look like it was a thought.
Okay.
Question about maybe the one in the bedroom 3 at the rear as a possibility. Those are the specific ones that I saw that. Okay. Any additional comments? All right. Next, we have another preliminary, which is 700 Sherwood Drive. Comments from the board?
I had one clarification on the front elevation. It looks like there's a triangle of space kind of above the front door. I was curious what that material was.
I had that same question.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
not
I don't
hatch,
know.
I don't know if it's brick or.
Yeah, or if there's, yeah, it almost looks like it's roof, but there, you can't really tell.
Oh.
I was like, is that roof? Because it kind of looks like the way the other roofs are just left blank, but then you really can't see that elevation from the side. So I didn't know exactly what that was either.
that bonus room would benefit from a window in that gable end on the second floor, in my opinion. Especially if that room has got weird roof angles going on the ceiling. Nice to have a window. Otherwise, it's just an attic.
Mhm. Yeah, I thought it was nice how they wrapped the brick all the way around the building. And there's lots of different brick detailing happening.
Feels pretty elegant and shape wise,
Mhm.
as well with the neighboring homes.
This is just a minor point and it's something to consider. Is the existing homes on the street, they have maybe one or two front facing gables rather than, the ones like 4+ that we see on the newer kind of subdivision type homes. I'm just wondering if there might be some discussion about eliminating one or more of these additional gables, because some of them, they're not really big setbacks in the plan. They're just, a few inch offsets. So it seems like the purpose of those offsets is just to have a place to put those gables.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that neighborhood fit wise, it might work out to, simplify that a bit. It would also be, less expensive to build. But I think that would be a key element for neighborhood fit.
It's a good point, because I think that would help, like if I'm just looking at the one next to the front door, if we were to get rid of that gable, that would make the front entry read. It feels
Yes.
like that gable's kind of crashing into the entry roof.
And I think there's a lot of nice things going on here. I think the quality of materials looks very nice for the neighborhood. So I just, like to have a conversation about simplifying that front elevation a bit.
Good point.
We may not have a lot of gables, but I think a lot of the homes around there are quite detailed. And I've kind of pushed back against requesting simplification.
Well, we
I don't
can,
personally think it's elegant and I don't know, I would believe that we would want to encourage more detail.
I understand what you're saying. I'm very familiar with this street. I live near there and walk there all the time. And I was just made a specific point of looking at that.
Yeah.
And I think that the homes do have nice detail. They have a very nice quality of finish. But I really don't think that simplifying it, a bit, like Tracy's point, if that one gable goes away, the front entry is more symmetrical and shows better, which would be more consistent with the character and the sense of entry of the existing homes on the street.
Interesting. I just fear, since it's such an elevated neighborhood, lessening any of that detail, but yes, I just would not like the detail to be eliminated, like the level of detail, I should say.
Well, I think we have plenty of remaining detail that's very nice. We've got the transom, the masonry details, the sills, the headers, the archway, at the window above the door. I think there's a lot of really nice stuff going on there. The wing wall with the curve. I think that level of detail would carry it and not make it look too watered down. And the brick pillars with the lights framing the front stairs, I think that's all quite beautiful, and I think that level of detail would carry it, even if we did eliminate one or more gables.
Question about I guess it's the rear covered porch. Sure if that's architecturally meant to be open to the deck above. I wasn't quite sure on the elevation, if that's just a flat elevation or a double height space. I'm trying to think
here.
about that. And I like a lot of the stuff on the front of the house and all the details that were discussed. I understand the extra gable, and there's other ways to think about a projected bay window with some detailing. Possibly, I don't disagree with that. But when I got to the rear elevation, there was just a lot of exposed heavy or half timbering, and I wasn't sure, it's a lot of roof, and so I just wasn't sure if there's any. It was more the rear elevation I was looking at, just kind of wondering. But yeah, that was a question about the porch itself, the detailing on that. In general, though, I thought everything looks pretty good, so. All right.
Now, we were given this packet in the email with the FAR and the letters and all that. What are we supposed to do with that information?
Well, I think that the neighbors had some concerns that they expressed in the letter. I think, perhaps we can address some of those items when the meeting takes place. There are a lot of the things that are concerns that the ARB does not have control of. Those are zoning laws.
Right.
So those are things that we really can't influence if,
Has this been through the plan commission?
well, it had a zoning review.
It did, okay.
Right, and then I can circle back around. I don't know, Thomas, if you had any comments on the first one, 1130 Landvale, but we were going to pre-approve that. I think, were you here? I think you came in. I didn't know if you had any comments on that one.
Landville, I just personally didn't feel like. I felt like it was two architectural buildings, like a Franklin Joyce White House laying on top of the 1950s.
Okay.
Post-war house, and it really doesn't fit with the house itself or the neighborhood, but that's my opinion on that. One to go against that, otherwise, size-wise, it seems like it'd be appropriate. I really dislike the elevation of it myself.
Okay.
It's not breaking any laws, and it's not a historic district over there, right?
Right, I think we can leave it on pre-approval and, you know, you still have to vote, so. All right. I think that's the work session. We would pause for 10 minutes. And the regular meeting will begin at 5:30 promptly. Thank you. All right, welcome everyone to the Architectural Review Board regular meeting. We finished our work session. So the regular meeting is now underway. Introduce Tekoa Bell and Jim Bailey with the city. We have Carol Dunkey, Tracy Collins, Thomas Smith, David Yates, and myself, Bob Buckman, all volunteer architects sitting on the board. First item of business would be review of meeting minutes from March 5th. I believe 4 of us are present. With that, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the March 5th minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting minutes are approved as noted. We do have one pre-approval for 1130 Landvale Drive. So with that, may I have a motion?
I will move to approve 1130 Landvale Drive as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, Landville is approved. I'm sorry.
I said that I don't have anything to say.
Right, so no vote there, so approved by 4 votes. All right, at this point, we will move on to the regular meeting. If we read your project, and you're here in person, to come to the microphone up front and we'll discuss your project. And if you're on Zoom, to raise your Zoom hand, and Tekoa will add you to the discussion. The first project is 253 Papin Avenue. Tracy Collins will recuse herself as the architect. Hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Can't complain.
All right. The homeowners?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, welcome.
Thanks.
I think there were a couple of comments.
I just have a comment about the side elevation of the garage with your nice steep roof pitch that turns into a lot of uninterrupted siding on that side. So I think just putting a band trim at the bottom of those gables would help break it up a little bit. And that would be similar to the detailing on your house with the band trim between where the brick and the siding are. So just like one band trim at that, on the side elevations at the gable, and, you know, maybe like a gable louver or something, just to break it up a little. Other than that, I think it's fine. And as a suggestion only, maybe consider adding a window to the west side, but that's just a suggestion if you chose to do that.
Any additional comments? So, with that, is there any, are you guys okay with the band board being added?
I don't know that so you can't really see the band board you can see it on the one side with the brick. I mean, would it sit right at the top of the window?
It would be at the gable. You
So
know,
the upper edge.
it's just a
Oh,
trim
okay.
board that breaks up the top gable triangular section from the lower. Really all it is. And I think it just provides a little bit of detail. As Carol said, I agree, it ties it better to your house.
Okay.
Yeah, no issues with the band board on the west side. We were hopeful to use that kind of as like a projection screen or like a flat bank to be able to do like a movie projection kind of idea, occasionally. So I would prefer to not have a window for that side and also just to maximize storage on that one, since we already have the man door.
That's fine.
If that's
That-
okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That was just a suggestion.
Understood.
Yeah, I think the extra windows were just a suggestion that if you
Okay.
guys wanted to add them. So yeah, and that band board is typically, because you're doing horizontal siding, so it's just going to be in the same plane, so that wouldn't affect your projection screen.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. I think with that, then we could read a motion. Someone, please.
I'll make a motion to approve 253 happen with the understanding that there'd be a horizontal band board added at the bottom of the gable on the side elevations of the garage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, you're approved as noted. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, if we can get Tracy back, please. All right, our next project is preliminary. It's 818 Holland Avenue. Is there anyone present for that project? Come up and introduce yourself and we'll discuss it.
Joe Palazola, owner.
Hey, Joe.
Welcome, Joe.
Thank you, guys.
So I think we understood there were some things being worked through. So we just kind of want to maybe work through with you what you're thinking the final drawings might look like.
Okay, I know, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and so that way, when you resubmit, we'll kind of be on the same page, right? Is the goal. I was just gonna start with the garage since it was the first one.
Okay,
And I think there was maybe a thought that you could add a trim to the rear of the garage elevation as you have on the front at the gable.
I got it. Like, do the gable that's on the front, do the same on the back.
The horizontal,
I
yeah.
got it.
You've got a transit, I think it's referred to as a 6-inch transition.
Yeah. And on the last house, we changed the siding and it looked really good. We had the horizontal siding and then in the gable, we did cedar shingle. It was still vinyl, but it looked a little bit different.
Okay, so then you're gonna do that on both sides?
Well, I was gonna do it on the front for sure.
Okay.
The other one faces a neighbor and that's why I didn't put a window there because I thought they'll have their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I put 2 windows on the back, going towards the backyard.
Okay.
But whatever you think, I mean,
I was just asking, I think it's fine, to leave it as horizontal on the back, personally.
That looks like a really tall garage. Is that like a 12-foot bearing on that garage?
I'm sorry.
It looks like a really tall garage. It looks like there's maybe a 12-foot bearing height on that garage. Are those 12-foot tall walls?
No, they're 10 foot.
Okay, when I'm looking at the 8-foot tall garage door, it looks
Yes.
like it's about half again as tall.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's probably out of scale.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
It's 10-foot wall and then it 8-foot doors what I typically like because some of the vans or something might have a ladder rack on them and it's nice to get it height,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that would be
it's
one of the.
supposed to be 10 feet, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
That would be one of the things to address when you're kind of making your decisions and getting your actual submittal together.
Yes,
And just things like, whether you want cedar shake or vertical, just make those decisions and render it
Mhm.
accordingly. So,
Yep. Along with the windows, it looks like they're sketched in, obviously, if those are the window locations, they look good to me.
good.
All right, we can move on to the house. And I'm just gonna start with the foundation and then I'll let someone else talk, so.
Sure.
For the foundation itself, it looks like on the sides, so the front, you've got a little bit of concrete exposed and on the sides, it's starting to step.
Yes.
And on the east side, it's one step, and on the west side, it's one step, but it doesn't really align with the trim on the back of the house. And it looks like you could possibly even add a step along the sides to make sure that it
Yeah.
transitions horizontally. And I don't know if are you pouring the foundation or are you gonna frame it on the step?
We're gonna pour the foundation, but on the back of the house, it's only gonna come up like 3 feet.
Yeah,
And then it'll be all siding and that'll be kind of like a full walkout. But
yeah,
I don't have the grade to drop it the whole 8 feet, so we're gonna
Right.
leave the wall up like 3 foot. And then
Yeah.
we'll notch out for the door and the egress window should fit. The two egress windows should fit. And then we drop the siding down 2 foot, so it wouldn't look like so much concrete on each elevation. And we did that on the last house and it looked really pretty good.
yeah. I was just on the picture you had of the last house, that corner is kind of one of the areas I think you'd want to avoid.
Yeah.
Where the step
It's supposed to go around the corner.
doesn't turn.
Yeah. What happened, the corner fell out, the corner wood
Yeah.
that the wall contractor put in, it fell out, so we had a hard time wrapping that around, but it will continue around the
Yeah,
back, the same height as the sides. And then it'll be concrete, and then it's gonna be like 2 foot, and then it'll drop down to the 3 foot mark.
okay.
But I don't wanna lose strength on the corners, so I was hoping I could do a concrete corner, it'd be 8 foot, and then we'll bring the siding down 2 foot.
Yeah, I think in general, the sidings, if the exposed concrete's not more than a couple feet, then I think that works. I'll let someone else talk about some other questions.
I was just gonna ask about the porches. Looks like you've noted a capital and base to the columns in the front. And it would be nice if the back matched that same column design.
3 columns in the back.
Yeah, just to have the detail of the top and the base on those rear columns as well.
Well, the one would be right up against the house, so is that okay?
A little piece of trim, yeah, just to kind of finish it off. Yeah. And then at the underside of those overhangs, there's some line work that makes it look like maybe it's sloped underneath. I don't know what your plan is for the side walls or is it closed off on the sides of the porch overhang? Is the ceiling flat?
Porches?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the front one will get a vinyl. Stop it.
Okay, so just a flat, yeah.
The back ones will just be exposed for now. The 2x10s every 12 inches. Because I'm using that vinyl Trex. And I don't want to span it 16 inches, but I think
I think
The
we're
last
talking
one.
about two different things. You're talking about the roofs, aren't you,
Oh,
Tracy?
yeah.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about the
Yeah.
roof?
Yeah,
Yeah, it needs some kind of treatment. I didn't know. It's not on here. I was actually hoping that I could do a 2-story porch on the back of the house instead of 1 story. Because I was looking at the trusses. If I just carried that truss all the way over, the same as the rest of the house, which are 34-foot trusses. Carry it all the way to the back, and then I could have a 2nd-story porch, which would,
oh, off of the bedroom?
and then I'll put a master bedroom on, I'll switch the bedrooms, do the master on the back of the house instead of the front of the house. And it'll be they'll have a walkout onto that deck,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost the same amount of money, except for the little bit of lumber I have for the decking and that.
Yeah.
But the roof is the same.
Yep.
So you want 3 posts instead
Very
of 2. I kind of.
Oh, no, I don't care how many posts. I was just commenting on the detail of them. So that on the front elevation, you've got like a little mark there with pencil where you're kind of showing a capital finished trim piece at the top of the post. And then there's another little trim piece at the bottom of the post. So what I'm saying is that it would be nice if however you treat the front posts, if they match on the back, just so they're not just pieces of lumber exposed. That's all.
See, were you here for our work session? Did you hear those comments? Okay, okay. Yeah, we just, as far as your coordination items, we've got some windows that are shown on the elevation, but not shown on the plan, like in the primary bedroom on the sides.
Yes.
And then, also too, I've got a kind of a list here, where you're going to have siding. If you could just render that where it's horizontal siding, actually show the horizontal lines. Where it's vertical siding, go ahead and show the vertical lines.
Okay.
Because we've got some areas that are labeled horizontal, some that are labeled vertical, and then some that are just labeled siding. So with nothing drawn, we don't know which correct. I know, I'm just, I'm not trying to be like overly nitpicky. I know you guys were just trying to get a concept in, but I just wanted to note some areas that y'all might want to look at, and you might have some decisions to make there as you go along. And then on the front elevation, there's just shutters on that one window. It looks like that might be the only window that has shutters on it on the whole house.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't know if I like it either.
yeah, so that's just something to think about. And, you know, just as far as bringing your drawings, kind of in line with what you're actually constructing, you know, go ahead and draw all your window trim and such, accurately.
But we'll put the 3.5-inch trim on this side of that window. I
Okay.
didn't draw headers on there. The last house we did like a ornate header that went over the window. That's that polyfoam stuff. I did that in a couple spots.
Yeah.
On the front of the house, and I just didn't know what I was gonna buy, but I wanna do something, but I didn't wanna draw it without knowing
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, just, you know, as you're getting ready to resubmit, you might want to make your decisions about what you want and where you want it, so it can
Okay.
be shown on the drawings. Yeah, and it looks like at that rear walkout, there's discrepancy between the plans and the elevations. One shows two windows and a side hinge door that's shown on the plan. And then it looks like there's a sliding door shown on the elevation. So that there would be a decision made there. So
Okay.
we actually know what we're reviewing. And you know, because as you know, these drawings, what we review and approve has to be a record of what was actually
So you
agreed
need
to.
these drawings done better is what you're saying?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Before I submit them to the architect to get working drawings. Okay.
Yeah, we would need to have drawings that reflect all the things we're saying here tonight, and the ARB would need to see them again. So we're really clear about what we're reviewing, because these just have too many conflicts and coordination issues to give a good review and to serve as a record of the decisions made. And it looks like you've got some major area of roofs here that have just been like crossed out with a squiggle of a pencil.
Yes.
Okay, if stuff isn't on the project.
I got it.
Yeah, not on the drawings. Yeah,
I'm.
okay. That's okay. That's
It was like,
okay.
wait a minute, the roof's gone wrong. We did it the wrong.
Yeah. And then, you know, when you make your decisions on your roof configuration, just make sure that the roof plan matches that.
Yes.
Yeah. I think those are the major items that I had.
Okay, in the lower level in the basement. You were talking about the two windows, right? And the door?
Yeah, it's just that right now, the plan and the elevation show two different things.
Okay.
On your floor plan, you've got two windows and a side hinge door that's 36 inches. And then on the elevation, it shows a sliding patio type door. So we would just need to,
Sure does.
yeah, we just need to make a decision about what y'all want there and make sure it's shown consistently throughout the drawings.
As far as windows go, I did have a suggestion specifically for the west elevation.
Okay.
That bedroom number 4 could benefit from a window, maybe right, next to the closet.
Okay.
So something to consider, because as I was looking at the west elevation, I thought the front half of that was a little,
Compared to the other side.
right, a little out of balance.
Okay.
And that would help balance the house out. And also, personally, I just think being in a bedroom with windows on more than one wall is a pleasant experience. So,
I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. So I was just saying, I think it also personally, I think benefits the interior of the room as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
Mamie had windows, like 8 windows on the last house, and when we got done with them, they were beautiful. They were in like closets that you don't need to turn the light on or nothing. They
right.
were really cool.
You have some of those here too, which is great.
I love windows, so I'm okay with it.
The only other area that I thought it's a suggestion to consider on a window would be in bedroom number 3. You could possibly consider adding one to the rear elevation. Also next to the closet, that could be a smaller square window, just something to think about. Not really a requirement. I think the rear elevation has a lot of happening, but I think if you want to look at that.
I could move, if I moved them bedroom 3 windows on that west elevation to the back, then that.
Or one of
that would be
them.
Something on that side. Because I'm thinking of doing that second floor porch there. Bedroom 3 would have a porch right there. Yeah, I could do one of those, yeah.
I mean, something to think about. And then also, I think we discussed the trim on the main house. You're calling it the transition, that band board should probably wrap. It's showing the front, but it should also probably continue on both sides, the east and the west elevations both, and then tie back around in on the rear, just to make that band
All the way
consistent.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not do that on the last house. But it is a, you got.
Yeah.
18 feet.
Right, I think it just helps unify the house as a whole architecturally to consider that. David, anything else? Did we miss?
No,
All right, so those are the preliminary comments, and at this point, obviously we won't be voting on this, but expect those revisions when we see it the next time.
Okay, all right, and when will that be scheduled, like, is it next month?
First Thursday of next month. April 2nd,
Next month?
next month.
I'm sorry, guys, I kind of botched this up a little bit. It was supposed to be done by the architect that I hired, and he got sick, and he left me with these, and I tried to fix them. I didn't do a good enough job, obviously, but we'll work on it. Okay, we'll get them to you.
Very good.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a nice night. All right, next we have 700 Sherwood Drive, new construction preliminary. Anyone present for that project online?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, this is Donna.
Hi, Donna. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you all.
Hello. All right.
I
Questions
did
from-
listen to the discussion earlier. I was here, okay?
Okay.
Did you have any thoughts on, or should we just go through?
Gable situation that you guys were talking about? I think if I could give up a gable, it would be to the right of the door. Instead of making that a little double, I could make that a single and just keep the the two single windows there.
I think, yeah, I think that would be an improvement and it would help that entry piece really sing more instead of having that gable crash into it.
Well, it's gonna have to still cut into it a little bit, babe, but I can still cut that back like that, and just make it a single, okay?
And it would cut into it like.
Yeah, because the,
Oh, this front wall's coming out further. I see that.
well, yeah. Yeah, well, actually, yeah, because of some of the requirements that Webster has, it makes it difficult when we have stuff like that work, Anyway, let me think about this here.
Yeah, I wonder if there's another way to resolve that entry so it's more symmetrical. Cause then if you get,
We did a whole lot of different things to make this front work.
yeah,
But, and we pulled that wall up for that a rake as it comes down close to that porch to be up high so it could read the definition of the return on the rake. So, if we drop it in line with the other side, see the other smaller gable as the gutter lines are down?
mm-hmm,
And so that basically the front right there is actually asymmetrical. And the wall on the left is taller. And so the ridge of that, if it were one gable, is off. So I'm gonna have to do something to change that. But we pulled it up so we could read that gable end corner. You follow me?
I do. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky.
If we didn't do that, it doesn't look good. To have that whole thing die right into that looks terrible.
Hmm.
So we pulled it up.
Yeah.
So are you all asking to see that as one gable?
I personally think it would be nice, and I think it would be a good neighborhood fit. Most of the houses in that area just have one or two front-facing details and, gables. When we start seeing like 4 or 5 gables that
Right.
are just kind of stacked up and based
Right.
on just short plan offsets, like maybe 8 inches or a foot or something. That's
Right.
something we tend to see in newer constructions, in brand new subdivisions. And as far as having this house fit in with the neighborhood, I think, reducing the number of gables and that would simplify it. It would make the massing similar to the other houses. They all have a beautiful level of detail, and you've got some great details going on here. Nice quality of material, so all of that is really well done. I just think with this prominent front elevation, having the 4 gables and having a gable kind of just based on that little plan offsets, doesn't quite fit with the neighborhood as well.
Yeah, I looked up and down the street with Google, quite a bit because I'm very familiar with the neighborhood too. I've done quite a bit of work in that area. And that's another reason why we selected the board and batten look, because there's several houses with that up and down the
Right.
street. So I thought that would make a nice added feature because it's something very similar to what's there.
I agree.
Now, can I note something here? This house will be painted sort of a soft white, which will blend a little bit better in the neighborhood because there's several things over there like that. And then there's the board and batten house. I believe it's a couple of doors up if you face this front of the old house on the left, and it's kind of like a bluish, light bluish color with a darker blue batten board. And so, and then there's another white house, I think. I can't remember which way it is, but we thought this would be nice if it was just more of a soft look to it.
So
We
Donna,
sort of did an AI rendering and it looked great.
okay, is the brick going to be painted?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, it does say that. Thank you for pointing
Yeah, I
that
didn't
out.
notice that
Yes,
either.
ma'am.
Did you consider doing like just a light color brick rather than painting it?
Yeah, yes, but Tom, Builder Tom, likes the way painted brick looks.
Okay.
Especially if they start looking like it's not gonna, the paint, let me say this. I was gonna use the word kind of smear. But there's kind of like a little bit of a texture that you add to it if you paint it properly. And he likes that look. And I know through several of my clients that I've been doing the last few years, the white is really popular, the off-white, especially when you want to go to that farmhouse look and add a little brick to your project and keep it all white. White brick is really hard to find. And it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't have that color that you're looking for. So I've had a lot of clients paint the brick white.
Yeah.
instead of-
Have you considered staining it? Because stain lasts longer and,
I'm not sure. I don't know. I could talk to Tom about that if he had, but he's got a special treatment on a white that he's looking for. So,
yeah, I understand.
but
Just,
the positive thing here I'm trying to make is it's going to look nice because I think it's going to be a softer look. It's not going to be this harsh, brand new brick house that we stuck in the middle of these older homes up and down the street.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
that's my personal opinion.
I hear you. I understand. I think you might want to consider, talk with your client and consider maybe doing a stain because I understand what you're talking about, the look of painted brick. However, it becomes a maintenance item. And on a house this size, that's a pretty pricey.
Right.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, just,
I know.
yeah, I didn't know if y'all.
Once you paint it, you can't go back.
The farmhouse chic right now that's popular won't be here in 15 years.
I think it's overdone.
Well, and so a mineral stain would be longer lasting.
Right. But this is not going to that farmhouse look. I don't mean to say that. I just use that as an example of the clients that I have that are trying to find white. And it's just, I can't seem to, I agree with him. There's not a really good white brick out there. So.
Yeah, I understand that if it's hard to find, it's hard to find. I really would strongly consider the stain. I also think that all of the nice brick pattern work that you have shown with your headers, your sills and everything, that will show better with stain than it will with brick because the brick tends to, or the stain lets the dimension of the brick show through where the paint disguises it.
Yeah, the paint kind of, yeah, right, it does. I can mention that to him, no guarantee here.
Okay. I think we had another question, Donna, on the front elevation, right above that gable we've been discussing.
Yes.
There's an area of white that
Yes.
wondering what that is.
That is the same siding, textured siding, which is gonna look like a stucco, okay? That you have on the sides and the rest of the siding on the house. Okay, because that's that stippled board that
Okay,
Hardie has.
So the stippling should go all the way down?
That wall sets back, okay? It's in line with the second floor that's right above there. So if you look at the second floor plan, that's the inside wall. See where it says bonus room and then it says book base cabinets there? That's that inside wall right there that's on the front.
But then if you look at the garage gable that we talked about either earlier,
Right.
one side's brick and one side's stucco.
Right. I know, that did not come from me. But let me also say this. If you want me to make the garage instead of two gables, one, I'm gonna have to raise the wall up. Cause I'm not gonna lower the wall at the porch, cause it's not gonna look right. So the
Right.
little bitty window that you see in the corner over there is really probably gonna be gone. Cause if you run the gable over from the left to the right, you can see that's gonna be gone. So what I'll probably do is add some transoms to the garage windows. So that there's not so much masonry above the window. Put a little bit more glass in there. Okay?
I'm just-
The client did not want to, let's think about this. The client did not want to turn the corner where that little bitty window is, that's only brick. They didn't want to turn the corner and have that be siding above the double door of the garage. Because it would have been siding, see? And it would just continue down and that whole second floor area would be siding, okay? And they wanted that part to be brick. But they don't want to put the brick on the other side. I mean, we could, but we'd have to do some, things in the truss and bolt an angle in there to hold all that up.
It just seems like an anomaly having that bit of plaster stucco there in that little place.
I agree 100%. But their thinking is, once it is brick and it's all painted and it's white, there would not be that. Most people wouldn't know it. That's probably true too, but I'm not disagreeing. But I just want you to be mindful that that little window on the right will probably disappear. And I don't remember what the other things were. Let's see. You'd have to tell me, guys.
Do that gable, I would say, if it
And then,
becomes, you have a concern about elevation, I guess monotonous with one material. Or
It
one
really
thing
doesn't
that
change the
do
materiality that much.
So,
If you eliminate a gable, it doesn't change the materiality that much to me.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying if it's all just, now it's one face of brick, I didn't know if perhaps that would add to your concern about level of detail. If perhaps then you would want to change the material to break up the elevations on. Just a comment.
You're saying on this right here, where it becomes one gable.
Yeah, if that were one, perhaps that wants to be the board and batten material, or similar to the other houses that you've discussed, putting the horizontal band and topping the gable there with that material, and then your triangle with the window that will disappear, potentially as the same material. Again,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
just a potential concern.
So that could go there. I could go there, like board and batten, and then.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Right.
All right, I think it's an elegant house. I guess it's similar to the back is what that would be then. If you look at the rear elevation, is maybe just suggestion of
Right.
breaking up the material.
So take this,
Like that.
yeah, and then take this across there,
Right.
and that brick go away.
Then you don't have to worry about floating some brick up there, changing materials or painting it to make it hide.
I know, Donna, you're listening to us talk about something you can't see.
right, well, you can probably just talk me through it and I'll probably figure it out. What are you referring to?
The comment was on, the discussion about that lone triangle of stucco on the left side of the garage, looking at the front elevation. If you'd reconsider that the
Are we
brick
at
on
the front or the back?
the front, that the brick on the right side
Yes,
that is turning the corner with a small window, that may be become the board and batten as well that matches the left side elevation. And then the two windows in the, what is it, bonus room?
Yeah, that's the bonus.
The bonus room would be in the board and batten wall. Very similar to what's going on the left side elevation.
Okay,
This is a broad change here, so we're just kind of talking about it.
Offering suggestions to maybe help
Right.
break things up a bit there.
And then maybe your front garage elevations has that gable end board and batten treatment, maybe. Just an idea.
I think if you're gonna look at changing it to one gable on that side, you might think about the gable portion being the board and batten. I would agree that's something at least worth looking at.
now what do you mean by gable portion? You
The
meaning the front
of the garage.
gable? Are you meaning the front gable?
The front garage gable.
Correct, where the
I'm
vent
gonna-
is up in the,
My answer to that is gonna be no. I think it needs to be brick. Okay. So. But now, are you still talking about the corner of the second floor above the double garage door? Were you talking about that? Or just the front gable?
Well, oh, good, go ahead.
it was both. If my suggestion was to, if you're going to eliminate one of the gables to step out front towards the front of the house. I feared that being maybe just an imposing mass on the front of the building, and suggested breaking it up with another material, like was
Like the
suggested.
batten. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
Detail.
I understand what you're saying, but I know right now, if I brought that to the table after this meeting, I'll be shut down.
Understood.
I don't think I want to leave with that as a possibility.
I would just appreciate if you looked at, like you said, adding the transom windows or something to maybe break up that elevation if it were to remain as solid brick.
Oh, I will definitely add more glass to
I
the,
trust it. I see the detail in the rest of the building, so.
okay, I'll definitely add more glass to the front of the garage, okay? For sure.
Yeah, I think that sounds good, Donna.
Okay,
All right, and then I had the comments about the rear. I was just kind of looking at it and not
Okay.
sure. I think the whole back porch is gonna be enclosed, and I didn't know if there was any thoughts of having that open. That gable end is an open structure above or not. It doesn't look like that's the case. I think when I originally looked at this project, it was the least favorite part of the house, and I was just thinking through it out loud, but yeah, I don't know if any thought's been given to that, but I think it's, as I looked through it and understood it more, I think it's fine. I guess I don't really have much to say on that front. I did, while we were chatting here, though, I did look at a couple more things just to consider on the brick detailing side. Just a suggestion.
okay,
I like your arched front entry door. You could consider an arched on the opening to the porch along the left side to kind of give it a little bit more detail if you wanted to. Be kind of nice. Just a shallow arch that matched that. This was just a suggestion. And then if you're looking at brick detailing from the period, oftentimes they would introduce a Rolox sill or something at the base. I was looking at that specifically at the left side. Just something to consider. Again, it's all the same material cost. It's just a detail that you would find in some of the older brickwork that sets the houses apart.
and tell me again, babe, where would you want the Rolex though?
Well, it's a consideration, just put it at the foundation line.
Okay,
Something to consider on that, especially on that left side. And then it carries
Right.
around, it just gives it a little bit more interest and detail.
Right, well, right, and as it would go towards the back, the grade goes up. Yeah, I see the floor line. Yeah,
Does the front door arch have an arch brick
that's gonna probably be stone,
stone?
cause it's not gonna be, yeah, it'll be a smooth cut stone.
Yeah, I'm asking because the hatch pattern shows brick, which is probably a drafting thing
Not at
versus
the front door.
the front door.
Yeah, it does show brick.
No,
Oh,
not what I'm looking at.
oh, the surround around,
The surround,
the surround is the stone surround, not,
yeah, it's a stone surround.
Okay, I'm reading wood in my head. Okay, got it. Understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Never mind.
Okay,
Yeah, I think one of the questions that came up from folks in the neighborhood was about tree replacement. Had y'all addressed, thought about the landscaping and about, I think there was concern about adding trees to compensate for the ones that are removed. Has there been discussion?
Tom is adding, they took down some trees that were bad. There was a big tree in the back that was in the way, but it was also bad.
Uh-huh,
And they're adding 7.
okay. They're adding 7 trees?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I know that there were some that were very, very close to the house and there was no way
Right,
those
right.
could be
But they're
saved.
gonna
So,
add 7, which is quite a few, you know?
yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, what caliper?
I have no idea. I just know I was told 7, so I could have that number to tell you guys. Because we thought you would ask about them because, yes, the neighbors have talked about that. One wanted the big tree down, one didn't want the big tree down, you know?
We appreciate you talking through all of this, Donna. Thank you.
Oh,
And-
you're welcome. You know,
yeah,
you can't, well, you all understand how this all works. And the fact that when you look at a blank piece of paper with lines on it, it comes off different than that in reality. And so, and I think colors and textures make a big difference to how we look at anything, so. Just want to walk you through it, okay?
Yeah, and I believe that the existing house that was removed was also a light color, was it not?
Yeah, I was looking at it on the Google, it was like a white, I guess, or,
Yeah, I think it was
Pale.
white with green or something, yeah.
yeah, so it's a very light structure, so this isn't gonna go back dark or glaring, which I think will be nice. Now, this is down as preliminary because that's the way they do it whenever you take it over there. Is there any way I could get a final approval on this tonight?
I think with the changes we've discussed, it would be nice to just see those drawn. So everybody has a clear idea of what the final's gonna look like and we'll have a good record of that.
Okay, not a problem. Just didn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, sure, we understand.
Okay. So with that, 700 Sherwood will remain preliminary, revisions forthcoming, the next ARB.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Donna.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
Donna.
You guys have a great evening.
You as well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I think there were some concerns from the neighbors about
Right.
the size of the house, and there's certain things that if zoning allows it, the ARB really can't change it as far as setbacks and those sorts of things. So I just wanted to clarify for those neighbors that are interested, if the zoning ordinance allows something that size and with those setbacks, the ARB does not have a say on changing those things because they're governed by the zoning ordinances of the city of Webster Groves, and those are applied to each project by the planning department.
So
Can she ask a question?
a preliminary typically preliminary reviews, we don't, unless they're in a historic district, under standard review, we would have public comment, but I guess we can ask for comment. I mean, to me, it's kind of informal. So, but we're helpful.
Maybe address questions.
Want to be helpful to, yeah, so from the ARB standpoint, if there's questions, I guess. Sure. Come on up.
Hi,
Why not?
Beth Fitzgerald. I'm the neighbor behind
Yeah.
this project. Unfortunately, I was not informed of it. There was no notification. The project people did not approach me. I happened to notice a scraper taking the stucco off and went, oh, wow, they want to get rid of the lead paint. And then all of a sudden, Bellin's in there. Crash, crash. I just wondered, is there ever, or did you do a neighborhood impact study before approving this project, or that the architect or whoever's buying it did it? Because I do have a problem with this, not the least of which is my sewers go to the back of my yard. And my understanding is they drained to Sherwood. That's when I bought the house 47 years ago. So now I don't know, and I don't know how to approach this. And who I talked to Webster, oh, we don't have plans. Go to MSD, oh, that's before our time. You'll have to, we believe your waste goes to the front. And I said, no, it does not. I have a stack pipe or vent pipe in my backyard. And I had my lines the cast iron in the house relined, and they scoped out to at least that sag, and said in their assessment that my sewers drained through that. So can you give me direction on where I would go to find out if this project is actually impacting my yard, my house? I mean, I'm not going to go into the trees going away, but I am really concerned about an impact on my home. Can you give me any direction?
Tell you that as part of their permit set, engineering is required. There will be a land disturbance. Will be a minor land disturbance permit is required, and a civil engineer will prepare the plans, and they will be to code.
Are they aware that there are sewers?
That will be part of, that's why they have to hire a professional engineer. And that'll be his.
So those sketches that I picked a copy up didn't indicate any kind of waste?
For the ARB, all that's required is a strategy. And then that once they're approved, the design is approved, they will develop those plans. And that's where the engineering comes into play.
So is there,
So these are just preliminary this is kind of the concept, design intent.
oh,
So it's
okay.
not finalized, like nothing's really engineered right now.
With all of the heavy equipment, the removal of the trees along the fence line, all of that the sewers have been taken into consideration.
They're responsible for procuring disconnect permits with the city, licensed plumbers, and the same goes for the electricity. And silt fencing should be all the way around that property as part of that. And the grade, once the house is demolished, the grade is supposed to be repaired in preparation for the new construction. And then Webster will inspect that process along the way. And the Public Works is involved with this too.
Okay, even though they're unaware of the sewers going back there.
I'm not familiar with that. Maybe that's something we could have a discussion after the ARB you can contact me
Okay,
and I can help you.
okay,
I'll try.
great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Sure. All right. Good. All right, with that, thank you all. Meeting is adjourned.